Hi, my name is Amy Webb. I'm the founder and CEO of the Future Today Institute. We research emerging technologies and try to figure out what's the future of X for all different kinds of companies and organizations. And I'm here speaking at the Dent conference in Sun Valley, Idaho, where it's raining. So today I talked a lot about, people get very excited about technology, and rightfully so. We are literally surrounded by magical, interesting inventions, but most of them are shiny objects. And the challenge is that we get very excited about technology, but we don't think about the implications of what that technology means, and what we might be doing today that is setting the course in a direction that we may not want once it's 30 years from now and we realize how we are interacting with technology. And so today I talked about how for centuries, since the 1840s, when Ada Lovelace and other people working in the very, very early days of computers were thinking about, can machines think? And if they can think, how might they think, and what might that mean? It's interesting, that it's been over 100 years and we're still sort of, that's the goal that we're chasing, getting computers to think like us. And the question that I asked everybody was, well, what happens when we get what we say we want? And the challenge is that for many years, the technology wasn't, the computers and the processing power, they weren't yet powerful enough to do what all of these people previously had been theorizing. Well, now that we have machines that are on the precipice of becoming powerful enough to do some of this, what we're starting to realize is that we are their trainers. We are the study buddies for AI. And maybe we're teaching them things that we shouldn't be. So just as an example, there are several cases of virtual assistants that have female names. You're probably familiar with Siri, but there are lots of them. And because many of these tools are in closed beta when they're being tested, the requests that are coming in are being looked at as part of the training process. There's still humans involved. And the people who are testing these tools are saying pretty horrible things, especially when the AIs have female names. They're so horrible that I can't tell you what they are. In other cases, if you, for example, were to Google, and I encourage you to do this, Google the word CEO and look up images. It'll take you quite a while. You'll have to scroll until you get to an image of a woman. And unfortunately, the first woman that shows up is CEO Barbie. Everybody else is white men. And the reason is because the system is responding. First of all, the system's been programmed in a certain way, and then it's responding to how we act. And what we are starting to realize in the year 2016 is that there's structural racism and misogyny and homophobia in the various tools that we use. If we don't figure out a way around this, and it's a very complicated thing to crack, because it's not like any of these companies employ a bunch of racists or people who hate women. It's not that. It's that we bring our own personal biases to projects that we work on, and we may not even realize it. And that's on the programming side. For those of us who use the technology, you and me, every time we do a search, every time we look something up, every time we engage with something that responds, like an Amazon Echo, we are part of the training process, and collectively, we may not be teaching our machines the right things, and we are only starting to see what that means today. But again, given what we know to be true today and the direction that we're headed, what might that mean 30 years from now? It's a question everybody should be asking.